That kind of shit. All right, let's see what we can do. Uh, 20 minutes. Once I start talking, shit goes out the window. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Good morning. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall with another AM Sports Bite. I told you guys before that I do a little ride sharing. Got a couple ride share things that I do. As you roll around, you pick up on opportunities, and I don't know why I hadn't acted on this yet, but I need a couple of vehicles to really take off with this ride sharing thing. But as I was riding around, I just started back doing it. I was riding around Saturday and I happened to pick up a guy who does the same sort of things that I do, film games and upload it and do a little commentary on it. And I was trying to tell him about how he can elevate his or not elevate, but go to a different area. And he's kind of perceptive to that. But as we got to talking, we started talking about sports. And the sports conversation we talked about was the NBA and how it has evolved over the years. Right now, the NBA is kind of like backpedaling because of everything that's going around it. They try all these different formats in the All-Star game, but nothing seems to be working. Last year was a highlight if you're into a lot of scoring, but all you saw was just guys running up and down the court making spectacular plays, but with no defense. I don't know how many people get excited about that, maybe the kids, but that's not a replica of the game itself. And because it's not a replica of the actual game where you're trying to win, fans start to lose interest. So the NBA, they're aware of that. So what they do, they come up with a new format this year where they had the TNT analysts, Cheryl Miller, Shaq, Kenny, and Charles, and they came up with this thing where each one of them had an all-star team, a team of all-stars that played against each other. It was 4 teams, 2 faced off against each other, and the winners were taken on in the championship round. You had to score 40 points to win your game. And Shaq, his team ended up winning. I don't know who all they had on there, but he did have Steph Curry. And being that Steph Curry was playing in Oakland, San Francisco, likelihood of him winning that MVP was great, and he did. But the format, it didn't go over too well with the fans, partly because of what's going on in hockey. Hockey, instead of doing a traditional All-Star game, they went to this Four Nations thing, where they deal with the International Hockey League, a world association, where they take all the All-Stars from different countries off the NHL and have them play in this Four Nations tournament, just like they do in soccer where everybody plays each other. Then you will have the 2 best teams will then play for the championship. Well, just so happened, USA played Canada. USA won during the round robin, but Canada ended up winning the championship after the round robin play. All right, Sapir, I don't know how you pronounce that. It says, hello. Where am I from? I'm from everywhere. Mr. Salty Baller, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Ain't seen you in a while. But that tournament in hockey was wildly people talking about it, and it's only to the NBA. And the question that keeps popping up over and over and over again is, why don't the NBA follow suit? Well, I've heard all different kind of arguments for it, and I think the biggest one is I don't think there's enough international stars to fill the team. even if you just take one team of international instead of from different areas and pit them against the American stars, you're still going to have a complete mismatch. So I don't know how you're able to put together a tournament where you have international basketball players going against the American players. It's just going to be a whitewash. Now, what they could do is go regions. Maybe that would help, or have the each international team have X amount of Americans on it. Then that might be able to work. But I just don't see how you have enough international players that could compete with the American All-Stars in the one-game format. All right, Mr. Products, how you doing, man? MK Products. I'm okay, ball. You play ball? No, man, I'm barely over 5'8". Well, actually, 5'7" on a good day. So basketball, I was limited. If I didn't put in superior work, which I did not, I was never going to get anywhere close to advancing in basketball. Didn't care about it that much. I understand it. I know the rules. I could coach it. But as far as playing it, I can only go so far. So there's the answer to that question. But you play ball. The question that you asked, I can hear your accent even without saying it. I'm pretty sure that you are from New York somewhere. Am I an athlete? Yeah, I was an athlete, just not basketball, just too short, man. But the NBA, they talking about coming back to a traditional format next year. How they're going to do it, I don't know. But right now, the NBA, they seem to be reeling. The other thing me and this guy talked about, I think his name was Anthony, was the fact that the NBA has dropped to the level that they are because of all the money that's involved. Take this guy, Luka Doncic. Doncic was in line to make a supermax contract this summer. Had he stayed with Dallas, he was going to get signed to a $345 million contract. Because he got traded, he's no longer eligible to get that. But he's becoming a free agent next year after the 26th season. And if he performs well in LA, he's in line to get a much bigger contract than $345 million. Why? Because they got a new TV deal that's going to put so much money into the league that it's been speculation that somebody is eventually going to sign to be a $1 billion contract, be a player with a $1 billion contract. How are they going to do that? How you doing, Walt? I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but I'm thinking $100 million a year over 10 years plus incentives. That's how they're going to be able to get there. And this guy, Doncic, the 345 is an awful lot of money, but it's going to pale in comparison to what he could have made, what he's going to make once he hits the free agent market. Will he resign with the Lakers? I'm not sure. I don't think LeBron's going to be back beyond the if he finishes this year, he may come back next year, but I don't see him playing much beyond that. So Doncic, the Lakers are probably going to build around this guy because he's still young. What's he, 25 now? And the next year was to put him 26, 27 at the most. Yes, that is your centerpiece right there. So he may be the guy to get that $1 billion contract. So they're going to do what the Mavericks didn't do. This guy, Nico Harrison, he wants to win now, but I think he made a huge mistake by trading for Anthony Davis. Not that Davis is not a great player, but Davis is kind of like glass. You put it in automobile vernacular, he's kind of like one of those high-end cars that cost a lot, but they break off a lot also. So you're going to spend a lot of time in the shop trying to get it out. And that's Davis. He's a great player when he's running, but he's hurt this time. That was the first thought I had. I said, why would you trade for an older player that's injury prone, and you got a guy that's a superstar at 25, 6 years younger, that hadn't broke down as much as Davis? Sure enough, Davis comes in, doesn't make it 2 games. Now he's got a problem. He's on the shelf for a couple weeks. Now, Doncic's not 100% either. He got a calf strain on Christmas Day. I don't know if you ever had a calf strain, But you don't just bounce right back from that. It's going to take you good 5, 6 weeks before you're 100% well. But he's starting to play at a higher rate now, so he must be feeling better. But that's not something you just come back from. No, I can't be no NBA coach, man. I don't have the. I couldn't be an NBA coach. I'm not. No, I couldn't do that. Maybe a college coach, but not NBA. I have to build myself up to that. But this guy Doncic was the guy that the Mavericks should have held on to, and the fans are still raising holy hell about that. And because Davis is hurt, he is hoping that he can get back well so the Mavericks can make a run. They do have the pieces in place so they can make a deep run in the playoffs. With Kyrie Irving, he can score 25 to 30 when he gets ready. And you have Clay, who can get heated up. And you pound it down low to a healthy Davis, then you can compete. But can you get Davis on the floor? All right. All right, man. You have a good day, MK Products. I appreciate it. But I just don't see Davis is going to be able to be healthy enough for that run to occur. Now, right now, the class of the West is Oklahoma City. But the problem with them, they have a problem with choking. That's in my opinion. Last night, they got knocked off by Minnesota. And I think with Minnesota, if you can control that guy Edwards and slow him down some, then you should be able to beat Minnesota. They can't even do that. Gilgeous, while he's having an all MVP type season, the last couple of games, he hadn't stepped up like he should have. And I'm going to say that you're probably going to see some of that in the playoffs as well. So come out of the West, I think they're the best team, but until they do it, you don't know. So I think that it is a good idea to take a one-shot turn at the West by acquiring all these players, but there are far better deals that the Mavericks could have made than the one they did make. And even if they do make a run, what are you going to do next year? You're going to have to reconfigure and try it again. But that centerpiece that you could have built around, he's gone. And but going back to the money part, this guy was going to get $345 million, and he's probably going to get $1 billion contract now. And as me and this guy were talking about it, the real problem in the NBA is the level of money that these guys are getting. Once you sign that money and it's guaranteed that you're going to make X amount of money, then you can no longer tell these guys pretty much what to do. Back in the day, those guys, they didn't make that kind of money, but they played every day. They taped it up and did whatever they had to do to win. It was all about winning with those guys. But now it's not about winning. Once you get that contract, then now you start hearing about things, load management, and I don't want to play today because of whatever reasons. But the problem with that is these kids, they have dates on their calendar where they want to see these guys play, and they'll sit and they'll say, well, in February 1st, this is December, February 1st, they start making plans. We're going to go see the Magic play the Lakers. And the Lakers are playing, they're going to have all their best players that day, and it should be a good match because these are two good teams, and it should be an exciting matchup. But when you get to February 1st, you find out that maybe LeBron doesn't play, or maybe one of the Magic stars doesn't play. So all that planning the kid has done to get to this game, and he doesn't even get a chance to see his star players play. And the problem with that is you don't give the fans a break on the tickets, on the ticket prices. So I think that if you're going to make all this money, you owe it to everybody to get out there and play. That load management, that doesn't mean anything, especially if you're playing on a team that's not going anywhere. You need to be out there every night trying to play. I think you owe that to the fans because you're making so much money. But it's the opposite mindset with these guys. They're making this money, and once they get it, they don't care about the fans. And what are you going to do? Get rid of them? You're still on the hook for all that money that you're guaranteed to have to pay them. So the thing that me and this guy said was, if the guaranteed money was out the window, then you would have a different mindset from these guys in the NBA. But once they went to that guaranteed contract stuff, the level of play started to decline, especially when the numbers became exorbitant. So as long as you have exorbitant numbers, then you're going to have this mindset that I play when I get ready to play. All right. Let's catch up with this. Alcoholism said one time I microwaved the basketball. It smelled terrible. No, I don't know why you would do something like that, but I get it. All right, let's see what the poll said. Is basketball still relevant? Most of you say yes. I think it can be, it's relevant, but it can be a better product. But if they're not careful, and they're going to lose their standing as one of the top sports leagues out there. You take America, there are people coming in from all over the place, especially with the European background. Hockey is a big deal. It's a big deal up in Canada. And it's starting to take hold more so in the States because you got all these people bringing that interest with them. And they tell me that the hockey environment, the hockey games are great to go see. I never actually been to one, but I wouldn't mind going to see a couple of guys get checked up against the glass and, maybe a fight or two break out. That would be nice because you can't see that kind of stuff when you're playing football nowadays. They're trying to legislate the contact out of the game, and that's not a good thing. So as much as football is popular right now, if they keep changing the rules, that's going to decline. And then the other top sport in America, basketball, that's becoming hard to watch. So hockey could actually move up and take a stronger position in American sports landscape. Now, baseball, they're getting a little stronger. I think they had to step into the future. And I think the biggest thing they did with that, they started doing interleague play. And now, instead of just doing it on certain weekends, it's now dispersed all throughout the season. And it makes it more exciting because it makes solid sense for the Mets to play the Yankees more than just in exhibition games before the season. And for instance, I remember when the Braves, they used to play the Cardinals, who were in the West at the time. They played them 12 times, and they played all the teams in their division 18 times. The same teams over and over and over and over again. That got to be boring, man. But when you add that interleague play into it, that made it a lot more exciting. Now you got the pitch counts, not the pitch count, but the time limit that you have to pitch the ball. That can lead to more stealing. And I'm seeing that in high school baseball too. It's almost impossible to pick somebody off from stealing now, because once you start motioning toward that plate, you got guys now stealing. By the time you release the ball, they're already pretty much at the base, and it's because of the rules. You have to get rid of the ball in a certain time, and you can't sit there and hold a runner all the time. Unless you got the quickest release, then you're going to have a whole bunch of people stealing bases on you. So really, the key to baseball in high school now, you still have to have the basics, good pitching, good hitting. But if you get a guy on base or keep him off base, that will increase your odds of winning a whole lot. Chris Bristol, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while. JC says, well, you think the Rams gave Stafford agent permission to talk to the other team? I thought he was a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback for the Rams, but Stafford is, 37 years old, man. Stafford is also hot because they have made it clear that they're going to get rid of Cooper Kupp. And those two guys are hurt. And I'm hearing the Colts. Wherever he goes, it's going to be a situation where they need a quarterback that can get rid of that ball deep down the field. Now, I think he would be a great addition to my Steelers. But what do you do with Justin Fields? Fields, he got a reprieve of sorts when Jalen Hurts won that Super Bowl, because now people know that a running quarterback can win the Super Bowl, and it also causes problems, as we know. You can have everything covered, and then the guy takes off 15, 20 yards. You can't play a whole lot of man coverage against a quarterback that can run, because you turn your back in man coverage, you don't know what a quarterback is. He's gone. So it's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does with Fields. But to talk with him, if he doesn't sign with Pittsburgh, he could replace Aaron Rodgers in New York with the Jets, or he could go to the Giants. But I think that Stafford, to answer your question, he's not coming back with the Rams because of his age. But here's the thing. It's the price tag that Stafford wants. I think he wants 40, 50 million a year for 1 year. Do they have the money? Yes, but they don't want to pay it to him. Um, they will more than likely go out and let him test the free agent markets and then go sign a quarterback like Sam Darnold or pick up Aaron Rodgers. They won't pay him 40 million, but they might pay him 25. Are you hurt if you're Aaron Rodgers if you play 1 year for 25? I don't think so. But Sam Darnold is questionable because of the way he ended the year. And if he had ended the year as strong as he played the whole year, then he would have been in line to make a whole lot more money than he's gonna get. But that last couple of games cost him $several million, man. But I think that Stafford still is a good quarterback. But the problem is money he wants for the season. I think Pittsburgh would be a good fit for him because they like to run the football and play action. You got a strong arm guy that can get it there, and he would fit rather well with the Steelers. But they have vowed to change their style of play because they have to. Everybody pretty much knows what Pittsburgh is going to do. If you can stop that run, you don't have a quarterback that's proven to get it down the field to carve you up, then Pittsburgh has a problem. Add to the fact that you got the Ravens running that football with Henry, and they didn't do a good job stopping that the last 2 games. So they can't continue to play the same style of play. And it hasn't been said, but I think Tomlin is probably going to be in the hot seat if you don't do nothing next year, show any improvement from what he did this year. He's probably not going to be that much longer. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Stafford, he's going to be serviceable wherever he goes. How much longer he's going to play, I don't know. But the question is, how much money? Too much money. Let's just say they paid him $60 million to come play. It don't take but one play for somebody to break him up. I thought that was going to happen to Tom Brady, but luckily for him, it didn't. But I do know if they be playing the same way they played back in the 80s and 90s, they would have knocked them out of the game a long time ago. With the money that's out there and it's growing, expect to see less contact on these quarterbacks because I can see the owners now. I'm paying this guy $50 million, $60 million, and then he's hurt. He's hurt because we can't protect him. And as that contact goes out of the game, football starts to look less like itself. And then that's when you're going to see the popularity of that go down the window. So as money gets involved, then safety becomes more of an issue. And then you're going to see flag football come into the play. But my question is, will fans pay all the money that they're paying in the games and concessions and parking to see flag football? I don't think so. So at some point, a line is going to have to be drawn in the sand, and the player's going to have to sign a waiver or something. Look, we know this is a dangerous game, and we're going to not waive your rights, but we do realize that this is a violent game. But I think one way to counteract that is to add more players on the roster and keep beefing up the salary cap like you're doing, then you'll be able to pay or absorb all of these losses that you could incur if your star player gets hurt. So I don't know. But yeah, J.C. Tomlin is on the hot seat, man. Nobody said it. He didn't seem too worried about it this year, but I don't care if he's never had a losing season. If you staying stagnant, then it's time to step aside and let somebody else step in there. Not saying he's not a good coach. I know Terry Bradshaw doesn't think so. He calls the guy like a cheerleader. Yeah, that's kind of an insult, but you can kind of apply that to anybody when you think about it. To say he's not a good coach and call him a cheerleader, that's rather harsh, especially a guy who has won the Super Bowl. But you're not going to get many victories in the NFL just strictly being a cheerleader. These are the best coaches, and they have to come up with these different wrinkles every week, or they can't compete in the NFL. So Bradshaw's theory goes out the window. But the fact that he's been stagnant the last couple of years, he's going to have to show some improvement. He fired the coaches, some coaches trying to improve here. He's going to change the style. So the only thing left to do, if this doesn't work out, just change the whole thing, man. Get rid of the head coach and go somewhere else. But Pittsburgh, they don't generally fire coaches. Since Chuck Noll took over in '69, He was replaced by Cowher. Cowher ended up, and he was replaced by Tomlin. So they've only had 3 coaches in the last 50-something years. And I think that was a great run. And I don't think they would fire Tomlin. He probably would just agree to just step aside and let somebody else have a shot at it. But that's just my thoughts on that. But yes, basketball, they got problems. And as long as these guys keep making more and more money, they're not going to exert much effort because they're going to get paid anyway. They want to win the championship, but do they care? They don't give a damn if they win the championship or not because the zeros are behind their bank accounts, behind that zero. Zeros are adding up, so they don't really care. And they say they would care, and they act like they care, but in reality, they don't care. You can see how they guys are all buddy, and it's not like I want to kill you or anything like that, like it used to be. But I did see a flash of that the other day when Edwards was playing against the Rockets. Those guys don't like each other, and it's kind of good to see some hostility towards your opponents. You don't see much of that nowadays, and I think let's just let you know that sports are really just entertainment. But they could put a better product on the court, and I think these guys need to play more and get rid of that load management crap because it's just that crap. So we'll see. But I think the NBA, they'll come up with a way to improve their all-star games and improve their way of playing. But right now, hockey is the buzz of the sports world with that 4 nations face-off, and the NBA can't compete with that. They can't compete with the Super Bowl. And then when you got all these sports now pushed back into each other, you got the Daytona 500 right after the Super Bowl, right with the All-Star game. Man, what the fans going to do? I think if you get a little bit more separation between these all-star events, then you may get more visibility with the NBA. But if you mix it all up, and especially if you got football tied up with any other sport, then football is going to overshadow that because football is king right now. And NFL is definitely king. And the NCAA, as popular as they are, they found it out with their playoffs that they didn't get the viewership they thought they were going to get because they were trying to run up against the NBA, the NFL playoffs, and that's never going to work. So I think what's going to happen with that is they're going to adjust a little bit just so they don't have to try to compete with the NFL because right now they can't do it. So those are just my thoughts. Another AM Sports Bite with Coach Hall. I got to get ready to go to work. Wherever you guys are in the world, I hope you guys like and subscribe. I'll be on every morning during the week and once or twice during the weekend. So I got plenty to say about what's going on in the sports world. But if you like what I'm talking about, hit that like button, man. Share and subscribe. And I'll be back at you in the morning. So until next time, wherever you are in the world, you guys have a great day. And hold on, see what JC's saying. NBA should have left the All-Star game the way it was. Okay, I agree with that. But will you get the players on the court? LeBron, he was All-Star this year. He didn't play. They're going to go back to that format next year. But the question is, are they going to play the game or are they just going to run up and down the court, see who can shoot the most three-pointers? That's boring. So, well, peace out, man. JC, peace out. Get you guys on the other side, man. Until next time, I'm out. I got to go to work. Peace. I never did check the poll. All right. Everybody's saying basketball is still relevant. I agree. All right. Have a good day.